Hello, Internet! Shouth is here, and it's time for another Shoutcast from the Hearthstone beta and another episode of ShoutStone. I am bringing you the second of today's games because I had issues getting a game up over the last couple days, so I'm making it up with a twofer today. 2 new episodes of ShoutStone. Hope you just watched Arena Time. Let's get into action right now, because we have another game brought to us by Matticus from WoW Insider and worldofmatticus.com. So let's get into it now. It is Jaina versus Valeera. Matticus playing the part of Jaina the Mage, and a rematch here against GreenDude playing the part of Valeera the Rogue. So let's hop into action now. I'm excited. I don't know, man. Dealing with the issues of the last few days on YouTube, it makes life difficult, and it makes me kind of glad that I don't actually work. Like, my full-time job's not YouTube, so I still get paid doing my real full-time job, which may ultimately someday impact my consistent schedule here at ShoutStone. Hopefully less than YouTube is, but I digress. So, another Mage Rogue matchup. Always interesting to see. Mages have one of my least favorite cards in the world. Playing Acidic Swamp Ooze on turn 1 to get things rolling after dropping the coin. It's a pretty good turn 1 minion. Granted, yeah, it's just really nothing else I can say. Yeah. Wow, words are hard. There's nothing really more I can say. It's just a really good turn 1 minion, because it's hard to stop that kind of threat early without sufficient minion, and Matticus does not have sufficient minions yet. Well, he's gonna pop his hero power. Pass the turn. It's really all he could afford to do on this turn. So that ooze is gonna get another shot in, and I doubt he's gonna burn that dagger. Now this is a pre-patch game once again. I'm trying to get through the rest of what I have in my my arsenal, if you will. Alright, so now with the 4-drop, he could clear the field of a couple minions with that Arcane Explosion, but instead he's going to drop a Twilight Drake, a nice 7/7 minion here on turn 4. It can be taken out in an even trade, so 3 minions for the cost of 1 is a pretty good deal in my book. But I don't know if the rogue player, is going to make that bargain. No, it looks like he's just going to skip over the Twilight Drake entirely and try to burn Matticus down right away. So it looks like this rogue player is trying to end this game relatively early. He's already got Matticus down to 18 HP, but he's staring at 7 hit points. Alright, going to recall that Razorfen Hunter to get another boar out on its replay, so let's see how that pans out. Well, Cone of Cold, now an option, could use that to do some serious damage, clear out several minions, and then start striking in hard with... Yeah, he could use that Cone of Cold. I think it deals 2 damage. He could use that on the Brewmaster, clear the 2 minions to its side, pick off the ooze with his hero power. Instead, gonna pop Arcane Explosion and attack. So I'm looking at pre-patch Cone of Cold. I mean, I don't think Cone of Cold changed too much, but I'm hard to remember these things off the top of my head. I'm getting better, I think, at memorizing what all these cards do without actually seeing them. I'm trying to learn all the artwork too. Gadgets and Auctioneer now played for GreenDude, and Conceal, which will give him a card draw, and it'll hide his minions. So he's just going to strike in with his own little hero power, but it is going to open the door for another attack. I know, my cat's very excited about this game, and I have no idea why. Another strike down to 7, so this game could end fairly early. Ironbeak Owl, nah, not really useful here. At least not yet. Could pop that Arcane Explosion and will deal a couple points of damage. And the stealth is broken because Conceal has expired. So we could trade that Auctioneer for the Ogre Magi. Instead we'll play Fan of Knives, do a couple quick points of damage. He'd still have to trade it though. Well, instead, I'm going to Eviscerate, which will be part of a combo that's going to shut down the Twilight Drake, and he'll probably trade the Auctioneer for that. Much better trade in my opinion, if that's the route he decides to go. Or he could let it live for another turn, which would be kind of silly. Yeah, he's going to attack in, and there we go. Okay, so the Twilight Drake is now out of play. And a hero power attack. Just going to go straight to the hero instead. That'll take care of the weapon, and the turn is going to be passed here. Any second now. So now, alright, Matticus is looking at least an easy 4 damage, so he'll get his opponent down to 11 on this turn. Could pop his hero power if he chose to, but I think he's got some better options. He's got Fireball. Going to play a second Ogre Magi to buff that up a little bit further. Attack in. Try to get some more spell power out there. Could pop Arcane Intellect. Can't pop Fireball now. He does not have enough. Well, he gets another Ironbeak Owl. Flame Strike. Hate that card, but it is super effective when the minions start to come out. And it will be even more effective if the rogue player unleashes a lot of minions on this turn. He still has that Razorfen Hunter that we know he recalled back to his hand. I didn't see him play that again. So it's entirely possible we could see that show up. It could be a good cheap minion if he wants to just sort of flood the field and get some stuff out there. But both players in a somewhat precarious spot. It looks like this game will probably end within the next few turns. I mean, we're looking... well, it's actually guaranteed to end if both of those minions aren't killed. Yeah, actually, yeah. It's guaranteed to end on this next turn if the rogue player can't kill both of those Ogre Magi's. Now, if he does kill them both, it at least shuts them down. He'll have to kill them or at least incapacitate them to attack on the next turn. If one of them survives, it'll buff up that Fireball to 7, and he'll deal 4 damage with the minion, and he won't even have to burn his hero power. So, rogue player's gonna have to make up his mind. Might just be stalling for the sake of stalling, or could possibly be AFK. Who knows? But if this ticker runs out, and I assume it's going to, this will be GG and game over for GreenDude. And so, time is up. And there it goes. Fuse is turned, time is up, game is over. Matticus wins with a huge fireball to the face, and GreenDude explodes in a pile of dust. So, not too shabby. Good use of spell damage. And a good, fun game to end, hopefully, what's left of my pre-patch games here. I think the rest of the stuff I have is post-patch. I'm going to start casting some of Trump's games. Not necessarily arena time. I think I mentioned this before. I'm just going to cast some of them normal. But that's it. That's all I got. That'll do it here for this episode of ShoutStone. I'll be back tomorrow with more, as always. And I'll be back next week with another round of arena time featuring Total Biscuit. So don't miss that. But thank you all so much for watching. You can, of course, subscribe to get daily Hearthstone updates. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Links are in the description. And that's all I got. So thanks a lot again, and I will see you all next time.